How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today I want to share with you my Super7 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Ultimates Bebop action figure. As usual, the window box packaging for these has a sleeve that fits over top. In this case, you have Bebop on a sewer lid on the front, the Ultimates logo on the top, and then that oh so classic TMNT logo on the back. And now that the sleeve has been removed, we can see this oh so ginormous Bebop. And when I do the comparisons, you really will see how huge this is, along with all the rest of the accessories that come in there. Here's the top of the box, more TMNT, and really all around you have that really cool kind of spray painted alleyway dirty brick look with the graffiti. And then the back, you have the whole Bebop bio right here with more... Wait, did somebody put paint on their foot and then jump up and karate kick the wall? That's impressive. Anyway, let's get him out, because it's way more fun to have these guys out of the box than to have him forever stuck on the inside. It looks like Bebop's got a booger. What is that? Ugh, blow your nose, dude. Okay, let me just take everything out of here and I'll see you in a second. Okay, and we've got everything out. And this is a thing of beauty. This looks amazing, this Bebop does. Before we have a closer look at him, let's have a bit of a peekaroo at the array of stuff that he comes with. Like these two extra fisty hands, just for when he wants to punch stuff, or toidles. The secondary head sculpt, the one that doesn't come on the body, obviously, and we're going to compare this one to the other one during the head sculpt portion of the video when we're actually looking at the figure. He also came with this garbage can lid right here, and a dagger. Of course, he comes with a version of the drill gun that he'd originally came with way back in the day, and an old school style TMNT weapons rack, where the weapons haven't been painted. I'll probably just leave these on here. I won't pull them off for the video. Now, those of you curious as to how well the accessories are going to fit in Bebop's hands, well, this hand right here very easily can hold that drill gun, and also the dagger, though it's a tight fit, it fits in there quite nicely. While the other hand is perhaps a little bit tighter, a little bit more difficult to get that drill gun in there. Which means that dagger, oh yeah, that took a bit more, but he can hold both accessories in both hands, at least the handled ones. When it comes to this here garbage can lid shield, well, that's a different story. Take note at the amount of space there is between Bebop's thumb and fingers. And both hands have the exact same issue. There's not a lot of space in there to cram the handle of this lid in. I don't exactly know how they were expecting us to put this in his hand. I really honestly don't have a clue. I mean, I'm sure you could heat up the hands to get the accessory in there, but it really doesn't want to go in there naturally. And now I've actually dented his knuckle a little bit. So without the use of hot water or a blow dryer, this shield is going to be, at least as far as I can tell, a pretty much useless accessory. And then finally, of course, we have the figure itself, which looks stinking fantastic in comparison to the original. And you'll see that when I do the actual comparison portion of the video, but I've actually put these two side by side just for my own viewing pleasure. And my goodness, this is going to be one of my top figures of the year so far. Bebop's jacket on the back here is textured, and it's got that embroidered patch on the back, and the sleeves are all ripped up. He's got the fantastically sculpted turtle shell shoulder pads there. They look fantastic, those pauldrons do. And then you've got his big abs right here in the skull necklace. The jacket also looks really fantastic. I love the texture and the detail that Super7 have sculpted into this. You got the buttons looking fantastic. Even the zipper looks good. You got his circle linked chain belt right there, and then his just roughly sewn together leather pants. The knee brace right here on his leg, that's actually accurate to the original as well. I didn't even notice that was there until I compared them just while I was taking them out of the package. And then you got his high top Converse sneakers. What a fantastic looking, completely badass looking figure. And Bebop's face sculpt looks so reminiscent of the original. Obviously, there's a lot more detail to it in comparison to what the original one looked like. That's just the name of the game. When you compare these new renditions, these new reimaginings of these classic TMNT figures, there's going to be newly sculpted detail, and I think that it works really, really well. Everything is nicely done. I do believe the hair is probably a separate piece, just like the glasses are likely separate pieces as well. And when we compare both of the heads that come in the package for this Bebop, you'll notice that this one is just color matched to the rest of his flesh tone, while the one that comes on the body actually has that pink. I think that's because on the original one, there was absolutely varying degrees of how pink the snout may or may not have been. I think that probably had to do with overspray or possibly underspray. Personally, I think that the pink head sculpt on this body looks cooler. Now here are all of the various Bebop figures that I own standing together. That's right. This 4 right here is the sum total of my Bebops. I think I like all of them just as much for different reasons. Certainly the most imposing is the Super7 version, and if you're looking for one that is the most accurate to the cartoon show, then the NECA version is going to be the way to go. Now I would say, having fiddled with this figure for a few minutes before actually recording the video post-opening the package, there is one way that I can imagine this Bebop figure will be less than satisfying for certain collectors. And that's in the articulation. Let's have a look at it together. First off, the head sculpt is on a ball joint inside the body there. And, you know, I feel like, sure, it definitely could be a little bit more articulated, but for something this big, and really how they chose to handle the issue of having such a huge bulbous head on such a lurchingly large upper torso, I'm going to say that this, for me, is definitely enough articulation. For those of you hoping that he may have had some articulation up in the torso, well, all you'll find is abs for days, because there's no articulation points. He does, however, have a tornado waist that he can spin around 360, and is it on any kind of a ball joint assembly? If it is, it's not really that usable as one. Bebop does have the rounded hinge in the armpit here, and that does seem to be the standard for adult collectible action figures, and if you really need to put his arm stretched straight up, well, that's what you're going to get. The shoulder pauldron will move out of the way, but it also will look kind of dorky. Also, he doesn't have a bicep swivel, so any kind of turning of the arm happens right here at the base of the arm where it connects to the torso. And if you're wondering about those elbows, they are single jointed, and they do at least go 90 degrees, which is something, and they rotate. So I know fans of double jointed elbows are going to be disappointed about this one, and of course, there's the rounded hinges in the wrists there. And remember, he's also got that articulated little warthog tail there. In the groin, he also has the rounded hinges right in there. And there is some rotative motion right at the top. He's got the single jointed knees, and they do about that. They do rotate around in a circle back and forth though, so that does add a little bit more articulation. Interestingly enough, there is an articulation point right there at the bottom of his pants. So that's kind of interesting. And then he's got a big old hinge right here in the foot. And does it pivot? I will say no. It doesn't pivot because they put the articulation point there. Oh, look. I didn't even see the bottoms of his feet. He's got treads on his shoes, BTW. Okay, correction, never mind. This guy does have ankle pivots, as you can see here. And that would be the sum total of Bebop's articulation. Is it great? Not really. Is it the worst? Also not really. So I suppose at this point in the video, it's my job to tell you how I really feel about the Super7 TMNT Ultimates Bebop action figure. Is it good? Or is it garbage? Well, if you're looking for an updated, much larger, badass looking update to a figure that a lot of us had when we were kids, one that's gonna stand on your shelf, look awesome, do reasonably well in action figure photography, and really just give you those nostalgic feels that we're all buying these for in the first place, then I say that he is definitely worth it. But anyway, super friends, that's my story. I'm sticking to it. Hopefully you found this video to be an interesting, useful, insightful waste of time, and I will see you in the next one. Have an awesome day, everybody, and take care.